The municipal issue our group focused on was building the new Calgary Flames Arena.
Our question is there a better way to sort out who should pay for the new Calgary Arena?
So who should pay for it? Part of the things that I look at within that arena topic is the location. Victoria Park, if you get down to the Stampede grounds and if you get out into the Victoria Park area, it's an area of the city that's looking for some revitalization. They're on the verge of doing a development plan. They're working on that vision and coming out in the fall, October, November, coming up. They'll have that vision out there and they'll be starting to talk about what they want their community to look like. So now to talk about how do you figure out who pays for that? Part of that is making sure that we're having all the people at the table to talk about what that looks like. And we need to look at it from a business perspective. So you've got the Flames ownership group, and then you've got the city, us, as a partner in that. It obviously, I think, benefits the city to have the Calgary Flames here, to have an arena that attracts concerts, like one I'm going to with my kids coming up here in about a week. But that said, it is a private business. So if we give tax dollars money or city money into a private business, that's similar to saying, here, Tim Hortons, here's some money to go build your business and make money. We need to be careful how that looks. So I think we need to get back to talking to the various ownership groups and really having a good conversation about what's going to work for everybody and coming to that balanced decision. So I hope that answers that question reasonably well. It's a pretty complex issue. So. In terms of within the ward, we've had there's a few larger projects that have come up over the course of the last couple of years, and those are like the Flanders interchange at Crowchild to kind of help some movement on and off Crowchild Trail. I live down in Oak Ridge, so just on the other side of the reservoir there. And on 14th Street, we're in the middle of they're getting ready to start a project to improve our transit system in that area called the Southwest Bus Rapid Transit, and they're looking to put in some separated bus lanes. And what that will do is it's going to enable people to take quality transit that's going to be more efficient and quicker and get them to places like Mount Royal University, get them to the hospital faster. So that's an infrastructure piece that's going to help move people around our city that's not directly related to roads traffic. And another one that was interesting in Ward 11 that was a pilot and is now permanent, and it's something I think we need to continue to look and expand on, is downtown cycle track network. It's worked extremely well in that neighborhood. It's helped with commuters, cyclist commuters coming in from outside. But on the weekend, when all the people that just work downtown go home and hang out with kids and family in their neighborhoods, it's also enabling the residents of that area to travel safely from restaurants to bakeries to whatever. So I think when you're looking at road infrastructure, it's a variety of different infrastructure projects, and we have a lot of them going on, but it needs to be a balanced approach to all the different transportation options that we have as citizens. So.
Will the money needed for the projects for accessibility with disabilities come from our taxes? And if so, will this increase our taxes by a significant amount?
So we have to remember there's a lot of people in our society that have challenges in terms of accessibility. And I think that ultimately as a society we need to support all Calgarians. So I'll start with the aquatic wheelchairs, because they did start to roll that out a little bit this year. I haven't seen them in use, but I live, like I said, in Oak Ridge. So I live actually almost across the street from the South Glenmore Spray Park there. So my kids are pretty lucky that go there a lot. But I'm 100% supportive of ensuring that we have in our city facilities the equipment that's needed to make sure that everybody can enjoy the great recreation activities that we have around the city. So I think we need to look at it. And the cost of that investment and the return on having people being able to get out and enjoy their day and spend time with their friends, to me it's not even a cost, right? The benefit and reward of doing that is so much more. When you're looking at infrastructure and changing buildings and how the city grows, yes, that also needs to be a top priority. We need to focus on that. A good portion of that will come through taxes in some way. There's often grants that come either through other government levels or through charitable organizations where somebody has donated money for that purpose that you can apply for to make buildings more accessible, whether that's putting in wheelchair ramps, whether that's putting in elevators, or those other type of things. But for me, it needs to be a top of mind issue. I think that we often get, I do anyway, kind of forget that there's people out there that don't have the same ability to get around like I do. And as we got a little bit of early taste of winter, you can see some of the, if you carefully look at where you're going, you can see some of the accessibility issues. If a senior was walking down that street and there's a bit of ice and patches like that, it's extremely dangerous for them. So accessibility is a very broad but very important topic that we need to work on for sure.
Something at the heart of the issue was that candidates were spending a lot of money on their campaign from their donors and were overpowering others with how much they were spending. And so two questions that flowed out of this were, if you were elected for council, would you change it so that there would be caps on ward races? And another is, have you ever considered to show your donor list before you even got elected?
Excellent. It's a good question. Actually, we were at a forum in Oak Ridge last night, the group of us, and this question came up and was discussed a little bit as well. So I'll start with the second one, involving the donor list. If any of you want to go to my website, my donor list is already listed on my website. So I have made it public. I think it's transparent. If I'm accepting money from people that are trying to support me because they believe in my vision for the city or what I want to do, I have no reason not to share that with you. The current rules do say that the people don't have to release till March 2018, but I decided to do it early. I want people to know where the funding is coming from, and for some people that's important. For some it isn't, but if they have a question about it, then it's easily available and you can talk to me. So there was two candidates last election that spent $250,000 each, which is a lot more than I've raised, by the way, but $250,000 each, and they both lost. So I'm not sure that the money necessarily leads to victory, but it does make it extremely challenging for candidates that don't have that access to funding or aren't being supported by big dollars from whether it's companies or unions and things. So I think we need to explore what that looks like. The legislation for that is within the provincial government in terms of telling the city how to operate on those. But as a city, I think we can advocate for changes to that. We need to look at what that looks like to make it fair, because I don't think money should necessarily define the ability for someone to be able to run for council and share their ideas and be competitive in the race. In the case of affordable housing, the big picture is it's hard to get private people to put in affordable housing because you need to make them money. It's a business piece. Plus, there's a lot of regulations they have to go through. So there are a number of organizations, number of affordable housing builders that will do that. So I think from the city's perspective, the goal is to start to provide more housing, because we've got a number of people that don't have homes. And if they have homes, they tend to be healthier, they get to jobs more often, they're able to provide for their family, and ultimately there's a lower cost on society in terms of accessing other resources like health services. So from a city perspective, helping those people in need makes sense. So using some of our land resources or making those available for those units makes sense. This is an excellent question, and I've spoken on this a few times over the course of the campaign. So the short answer is yes, I support public art.
We are trying to get Amazon to come here, and the big questions that come with this issue is what will the city do to get Amazon here?
If you look at the Amazon bid, you can kind of see some of the things that they're looking for in a city. And these are things that, in order to either attract Amazon or to continue to attract other organizations, we need to continue to promote. So things that they're looking for a really good transit system. So our transit connections need to be top notch. We need to make sure that we have quality service, that it's accessible, that it's easy to get around to. They're also looking for things like cycling infrastructure. When I was talking about the cycle tracks downtown, that's actually one of the things that attracts Amazon to cities, is the fact that they want to have their workers are often looking for those type of transportation opportunities. They don't want to necessarily live miles away from, say, the downtown where maybe the offices would be. They want to live nearby and have easy ways to get around the city. They're also looking for places that have great arts and culture. So we have quite a lot of arts and culture. We've got a lot of theater, we've got a lot of arts programs, we've got visual arts, we've got great mural artists. We've got opportunities there. We've got great festivals that come to our city or are created within the communities.